Well, I was just sitting here talking to the Rothschilds with my raw telepathy, bullshitting with my DARPA clone, and the question on the table was, why did they make me arrest Gangster Umpire to umpire this gangster war right now? And then, of course, that's when the data stream, raw data, just comes into my brain as I look up into the moonlit sky at a eyeball looking back at me. All of that just happened in sequence, by the way. I'm not making that up, swear to God. So I got these indicators on my body, and some of them are Rothschilds, and some of them are Elon Musk type situation there, which he's majorly involved here. That's what you needed an umpire gangster for. Was the entire thing is Elon Musk is at the center of it, okay? Because he is very capable of bringing helium-3 back, and he's cranking out cars that run off of electricity, batteries, right? So if you know all that, and you're for sure that Forrest Gump was 4S Gangster Umpire, because obviously I've broken that down, even got the bullet hole in my butt cheek, the whole 9 yards, okay? He was sitting in the hotel looking over at Watergate. All right. Well, yeah, the gate to the water is right here on my head. So I had to break this down for everybody so that in the end everybody's happy, right? At least understands why, what is happening, and what's going on. So I've covered the helium-3. Okay. So what you got to understand, oil people, all of the rich people that are heavily invested in the oil. Okay. What you've got to understand is in the future, there's going to be a lot more violent earthquakes that are similar to Fukushima, where you had the meltdown of the reactor. Okay. So you've got Mount Diablo in California, ready to go any minute, on San Andreas fault line right next to the ocean, where you could highly potentially, it's coming, all right? They've already predicted this down to the T. It's the last lyric, Continental Drift Divide. It all starts with an earthquake. I've went over all of that. But the last lyric is Continental Drift Divide, which would be California is the San Andreas fault. And then you got Mount Diablo right there, which is a nuclear power facility. So that one's going to go. And I'd get the rods out of it before it goes. But if y'all don't, because you're probably not, because you're fucking idiots, like I've been explaining this entire time, it's going to melt down just like Fukushima. What's that going to lead to? A sudden urgency to shut down all the nuclear power plants, because I'm telling you, in the future, earthquakes are going to be a lot more violent and more extreme and more common than they are right now. Even where you don't have earthquake, like down here in Texas, there could be a major earthquake, and there's a power south of Houston. There's a nuclear power plant on the coastline. Well, there could be an earthquake there, okay? And it's right on the coastline. All of these freaking nuclear power plants are on the coastline, and you've already seen what happens when one melts down in an earthquake in Japan, right? So you got these oil users that are sitting there going, I don't like this Elon Musk guy. We're gonna have to whack that guy. He's a piece of shit. He's getting into our oil business, right? Of course, there's probably some greedy, saying that too, and there's probably some greedy Nazis saying that too. So that's why I was the 4S Gangster Umpire. So what I wanted to break down for you is he's going to replace what you're going to not have in the nuclear power plants with helium-3, right? He's very capable of doing that. So you'll have plus my new trash incinerator plant that runs off of the carbon byproduct. Your new power plants could run off of the carbon byproduct of the trash that we're going to incinerate. That saves us from the great trash avalanche of 2504 that's in Idiocracy, that basically is right in line. I mean, Rita is the hooker. Rita is Tulsi Gabbard, and I'm Joe, and I'm also Upgrade, right? Upgrade, which was the pimp, okay? And the pimp is E.T., who joined the Army and upgraded DARPA's technology when I got in there, when they pumped me full of the chips that caused 9/11 and all of that, literally, okay? So the moral to the story, people who are going against the grain on progress because you want to keep oil around, and I do too because I'm from Texas, so I can understand the argument there. I'm not anti oil. I want oil because that's really good for Texas. The Permian Basin just tapped, and we've got 500 brand new shore tanks built right here on the coastline, ready to trade oil, which is going to make Texas. We got more money than Davy Crockett in Forrest Gump. So, knowing all that, I want to keep the oil around, and I also want to make sure that Elon's successful with the Tesla and the helium-3. I mean, you can't have it all, but here's the most important thing for the oil people. If Elon does not get to the moon and get that helium-3 back down here to replace the nuclear power plants, well, you can replace them with oil. Okay, there is such thing as oil burning power plants. You just pipe the oil straight to the power plant, which means you'll sell more oil. But you don't want to do that. You'll want to use the helium-3. But if you don't get the helium-3 here, then you're not going to have power for all of these different people, right, that use oil. So if you don't have Elon bringing the helium-3 back, you won't have as many oil users anyway. So you're kind of, it's like Elon's, well, you're not looking at the big picture. See, you want Elon to get all of that taken care of so that you'll have more oil users in the future. It's like a wash on everything. Everybody wins if you do it this way. Even if Elon doesn't get the oil, then big oil really wins if he doesn't get the helium-3 back right away, because you go build oil-driven power plants and you just pipe the freaking oil straight to the power plant and you charge them for it, whatever the going rate for oil is at the time. So you're still making money and you're still selling just as much oil. So it really doesn't make sense that Forrest Gangster Umpire has to explain all of this to you, because I can see the really big picture, and I'm telling you, you're all feuding over nothing, right? See what I'm saying? So that might be while I was talking to Ra, the sun god there, and channeling information to the Rothschilds while I was also listening to the Nazis in my ear. That might be why I am Forrest Gangster Umpire. Just leave it to the redneck that y'all tortured down on the bio to solve all your fucking problems, you stupid idiot.